You know, there's many great rivers in this free land of ours. The Mississippi, the Swanee, and the Colorado, just to name a few. Now I'm going to tell you all just like it is about a river where I grew. All the mountains along the river, all the valleys along the river, all the sky above the river, all the Susquehanna River, lights twinkle across the river, things look little across the river, a train blows his whistle along the river, all the Susquehanna River.
The Susquehanna River is a precious, highly interconnected wilderness system, which is important to our sense of prosperity, security, health, and vitality of economies. Many people rely on the river and its tributaries and aquifers for drinking water, and most industry in the Susquehanna and Chesapeake Bay region is located within 4 miles of a major river. River water is also used to generate electricity from hydropower, coal, natural gas, and even nuclear power at places like 3 Mile Island. Natural gas, coal, and nuclear power use water from the river to generate steam, which drives turbines to generate electricity. People also use the river for recreation such as hiking, fishing, and camping. Pennsylvania has more miles of trout habitat over any state, second only to Alaska. It is undisputable that the Susquehanna River is essential to its people and surrounding areas.
In a course entitled Susquehanna Country at Bucknell University, Professors Catherine Fall and Alf Sewers set out 3 chief questions to guide their course for a semester of discussion. The students were told to regard the 3 questions and each discussion they had. One of the focus questions was, what is a region? This question was found by the students repeatedly throughout the semester in their various assigned readings and field trips. A work they related this question to significantly was a piece written by Ben Marsh, a professor of geography and environmental studies at Bucknell, entitled Continuity and Decline in the Anthracite Towns of Pennsylvania. In the essay, Marsh claimed that the anthracite region of Pennsylvania, although environmentally abused, is home to people that have a powerful sense of belonging just where they are, with such ties to these old, tired places that they are reluctant to move under any circumstances. Marsh's work was very informational for the students, but more importantly, it helped them to better understand the meaning and definition of region and its relevance to Susquehanna country. Although Marsh did not necessarily discuss region, he examined what place means and what it is comprised of. Marsh wrote, "Place is, in part, the story a town tells itself, the town's autogeography. What is this town? How did we get here? Why do we stay? Of course, place is also a group of facilities and resources, the physical property that connects the people to the economy. Those factories and mines are easier to see on the land, but the shape of the region is formed by both aspects." Marsh's suggested 2-pronged definition of place is very helpful, and it shows the duality of place he later discussed in his work.
Professor Sean Reese is an aquatic ecologist and biologist who has been working with the Watershed Science and Engineering program since 2010 at Bucknell. His research with freshwater mussels in the Susquehanna River presents a grave warning to the health of the river. Through various dives in the river and examining freshwater mussels under a microscope, Professor Reese often sees abnormal behavior and a general decline in freshwater mussel populations in the Susquehanna River. Freshwater mussels belong to one of the most endangered taxons in North America, even more so than other similar organisms like crayfish. The main factor for their decline is habitat loss and being separated from their host fish, the American eel. During the larval stage, these freshwater mussels often attach eggs to the gills and fins of fish, especially the American eel. This process is parasitic but does not hurt the fish. American eel live in fresh water and migrate to the Sargasso Sea to mate, which is the opposite of salmon, which live in the ocean and migrate to freshwater streams to mate. Like salmon, American eel numbers have been declining due to dams blocking their migration, as well as habitat loss. Professor Reese mentioned a study in which freshwater mussels had a 90% success rate in their eggs hatching and advancing from the larval stage, when the eggs are laid on American eel versus other fish like sunfish. The relationship between organisms and the river demonstrate how interconnected the ecosystem is and how devastating the decline of one species can be on the entire habitat. Freshwater mussels can live up to 150 years, and few juvenile are being found, which concerns many. Freshwater mussels are important because they are filter feeders that pull out small particles in the water. It is estimated that 1 mile of healthy freshwater mussel population on the Susquehanna River treats billions of gallons of water and is the equivalent to having 100 sewage treatment plants along the river. Without freshwater mussels, there would be more sedimentation in the river, which is the number one polluter of the Susquehanna River, and more nutrients would flow into the Chesapeake Bay, which causes dead spots, which kill many plants and animals.
James Fenimore Cooper, author of The Deer Slayer, set his novel in a time decades in the past. In vividly describing Otsego Lake throughout his work, he was attempting to show the reader what America could have looked like. Cooper wrote,
"So rich and fleecy the outlines of the forest, that scarce an opening could be seen, the whole visible earth from the rounded mountain top to the water's edge, presenting one unvaried hue of unbroken verdure, as if vegetation were not satisfied with a triumph so complete. The trees overhung the lake itself, shooting out towards the light, and there were miles along its eastern shore, where a boat might have pulled beneath the branches of dark Rembrandt-looking hemlocks, quivering aspens, and melancholy pines."
The novel and this quote specifically display the American frontier in a what could have been fashion. However, Cooper showed what America had become with his characterization of Tom Hutter later in the novel. America's wilderness and thoughts regarding it could have been much more pure. Although environmentally abused, Susquehanna country is a unique region and it holds vast beauty and importance to the people of its shores. Professor Hayes at Bucknell University says that people need to stop regarding the Susquehanna River and its surrounding area as a resource and instead start treating it as a treasure. It is interesting to consider the question of what is a region, and through examining works such as Marsh's and taking trips across the terrain of Susquehanna country, one gets closer to being able to pose an answer to the very difficult question. Perhaps Marsh is correct in saying that year by year, more people must weigh the negative aspects of the region above the positive, and year by year, the overall meaning of region is changing. However, the stories and claims provided by residents of past mining towns and the areas surrounding the Susquehanna River are very convincing and their pride is contagious. This disagreement may be the reason why region is so difficult to define. Perhaps region means something different to each person and cannot be quantitatively defined.
You know, there's many great rivers in this free land of ours. The Mississippi, the Swanee, and the Colorado, just to name a few. Now I'm going to tell you all just like it is about a river where I grew. All the mountains along the river, all the valleys along the river, all the sky above the river, all the Susquehanna River. Lights twinkle across the river, things look little across the river. A train blows his whistle along the river.